Hello everyone, welcome to the session today. Yes. Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you guys are doing good. So let me just recapitulate what we have discussed in the Google Cloud Storage, and we will see the next topic. Okay. So if you remember, if you can see my screen, I have shared my screen, guys. Hope you guys all can see my screen clearly. Okay. So we now know that what is a Google Cloud Storage. Google Cloud Storage is one of the data lake available in the GCP. And what we can do here, sir, what is this actually? It is an elastic object storage service. Elastic means it is the elastic name suggests that it is a scalability. Okay. So any amount of data you can store, that is what is meant by elastic. A service for storing your objects in the Google Cloud. Object is an immutable piece of data consisting of any file of any format. Okay. What is meant by object, sir? Object is nothing but an immutable piece of a data consisting of any file of any format that you can store it here in the Google Cloud Storage. And you store these objects in the containers. What is meant by a container here? Analogy of container is nothing but a bucket. So you create a bucket. Inside that you keep your objects. Objects are nothing but a piece of data of any file of any format. Okay. And one more thing we have also seen. It's worldwide storage and retrieval, guys. Okay. So of any data at any time. Okay. And these are the use case scenarios that the Google Cloud Storage is usually used in the companies. So serving website content, for example, if there is a website content is there, it is going to be stored in the Google Cloud Storage, and storing the data for archival and disaster recovery, distributed data, large data objects used in via direct download. For example, usually Google Cloud Storage, for example, nowadays you might have seen Netflix and all of those things, right? Most of the movies are usually stored in the data lakes only, but Netflix is actually using the Amazon S3 buckets. Yes, Amazon S3 bucket is very similar to the GCS case. So if you wanted to see a similar service, for example, GCP, we have a GCS, Google Cloud Storage as a data lake. Okay, if you go to the AWS, okay, they have three buckets. It is acting as a data lake there. And if you go to Azure, they call it as a blob storage. Blobs. What is mean by blobs? A blob is nothing but again file. The terminology itself it is like that, sir. Okay. Here in the GCP we call it as a object. Here in the Azure they call it as a blob. Blob is nothing but a file of any format. S3 they usually call it as a files only. Okay. So this is how if you go on premises, what is that, sir? HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so this is one thing. So these are all acting as a data lakes in different environments. Okay, earlier we used to use on-premises HDFS is a data lake, but nowadays the cloud platform we are using cloud platforms and GCS S3 buckets blob storage is a data lake. So what are these data lakes? Data lakes are mainly responsible for storing the data and retrieving the data at any time, at any cost, at any amount of data we can store here. So this is what is all about the Google Cloud Storage. And later we have seen how to create a bucket, sir. To create a bucket, we have to provide a global unique name, the location, and storage classes. What about this location, sir? Location has three categories. Either we can go for the region or dual region and multi-region. At any cost, if you don't want it to lose your data, you can go for the multi-region, and the multi-region very low latency, and replication will be available in the largest regions. I mean largest area, you can say. In a dual region, it is also having a replication, a latency also less, but the thing is like only for the replication will be only available in two regions. Dual region means only two regions. But if you go to the region, there is no replication at all. The data will be only available in one single region. If the failover happens in this region, then there is a data loss will be happening. So this is what about region, dual region, and multi-region. And we have also seen the four storage classes. One is standard, nearline, cold line, and archive. Okay. So when we are using the standard for frequently accessing data, and nearline for access once in a month, a cold line once in a quarter, and the archive once in a year. What is the advantage of using the storage classes? In terms of a pricing, you can see here, if you don't select a proper storage class, you are misusing the storage classes. So we select a proper storage class. Standard is for frequently accessed data, so that you can able to, even though the storage cost is higher, but the transaction cost is less. Okay, frequently accessing, and the data will be highly available. Okay, so we will be getting some discount here. Like that for the archive, for accessing the data once in a quarter, the transaction cost is very high, but the storage cost is very less. Again, you get an advantage of storage cost here. So that is how we have to select a proper storage class. Okay, and the storage class is an editable option. Even though once you have created a bucket, you can even change it later as well. So that is also we have seen. Okay, so when we talk about all the features of the Google Cloud Storage, we have all of these things, guys. Regional buckets, object to change notification. If you wanted to go like, we can have a ACLS, object versioning is there, online import, offline import, object lifecycle management. So these are all the features of a GCS. Once you create a bucket, this is a metadata of the bucket, guys. We have seen this already. Okay, once you create an object, this is a metadata of an object. So when you upload this, for example, here you see a size, you see a type, you create a time, you see a storage class, and all of these things. Okay, so you can also edit the metadata, edit the permissions if you wanted to do. Okay, and you can see here objects. Object is an individual piece of data in the form of a file. No limit on the number of objects that you create in a bucket. Okay, this is some question yesterday some people have asked me, right? So there is no limit on number of objects that you can create in a bucket. Objects have no hierarchical relationship. One object to the another object, there is no hierarchical relationships, sir. Okay, and objects can have a different versions as well with the help of the object versioning. Every object has associated storage class, right? This will be inherited from the bucket. So for example, you create that bucket is having a standard storage class. You keep a file, that file also be having the same storage class. So this is how it is. Versioning needs to be enabled to maintain the old versions. Okay. Yep. And this is a object metadata. There are fixed keys, there are custom keys. What does that mean, sir? You see here, storage class, content type. These are something are like fixed data, and you cannot be edited. And there is some information which can be edited. And object lifecycle management. What that, sir? Yesterday I have told you, object lifecycle management is something like you can create some kind of a rule, such as like, for example, so far you are using a bucket for the standard, but after 30 days you wanted to be make it as a nearline, so that you will get some benefit of the cost. So for that reason, you can create a rule automatically. Backend it will be happening once the 30 days is happening. That particular bucket will be converted from the standard to the nearline or cold line, whatever it is. So such kind of actions, if you have, you can go for the object lifecycle management, guys. Okay. And if you wanted to delete a bucket after some days, you can also do that. Such kind of a rules also you can able to do it. Okay, you can see here, you delete an object after 30 days or something like that, after 40 days, after 60 days. So such kind of a, this is your action, but when it is the condition, based on the condition, it will be, the action will be done. Okay, this is one thing. And working with the Google Cloud Storage, as I told you, most of the times we console as well as this is our GSP. This is a sterilizer, one line tool, nothing but a shell. Okay, and people also can be used work with the work with the client libraries to interact with the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, and REST API also we can able to use to work with the, to interact with the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, so these are the options that we have. We have seen how to create a bucket from the console. We have also seen how to create a bucket from the Cloud Shell, right? Cloud Shell is what? It's a command line tool. Your console is nothing but a web interface. Okay, so these are the common commands, simple commands that I have given. So for the bucket, if you wanted, these are the bucket commands, sir. If you want to list all your buckets, GS, you can go to the Cloud Shell and you can use this one, so that it will list out all the bucket names. If you wanted to create a bucket, you can use this. Okay, MB, and this is a location. This is your bucket name. If you wanted to provide access to your bucket, so this is a IAM policy that you IAM granting access to one of the user, that is google.com. So what kind of access we are providing a role to them? So for this particular email address, we are providing a object creator, object viewer role on this bucket. Okay, so this kind of things also we can able to do from the Cloud Shell, guys. So you wanted to provide a roles, or you wanted to assign a roles to one of the user, and on some bucket, you can also do that with the help of the IAM. If you wanted to delete a bucket, you go and use this particular thing. Okay, normally if you wanted to create a bucket using a project ID, storage class, bucket location, retention policies, and you at the end you mention the bucket name. So this is a code for entire thing. Okay, and after that, for we will see also few comments related to the object as well, sir. If you wanted to upload an object from your machine to the bucket, so this is a something, this is from desktop to your storage bucket. You can also download objects from your bucket, from bucket to your desktop, and a list of the all contents in the bucket. You can also use gsutil and the particular bucket name, so that it will provide all the list of the files inside that bucket. If you wanted to make your objects publicly available, you can also apply a rule, IAM rule on top of it. If you wanted to delete an object, you use this one. Okay, so these are the commonly used bucket commands as well as object commands that we have seen here. This is a commonly used bucket command. These are the commonly used object commands, guys. Okay, so these are the general guidelines, sir. General guidelines. Every new, so you can say best practices, you can also think of like that. Every new object inherits a storage class of a bucket. Okay, so whenever you create a file inside a bucket, that bucket will follow the storage class of an sorry, whenever you create a one file in a bucket, that file will inherit the storage class of a bucket. That means we have seen this already. Okay, for example, you have this bucket. Okay, and if you upload a one file to this bucket, this file will follow the storage class of this bucket. This is what is that mean. Okay, and the bucket storage class can be changed. Editable option. Cannot change the location, multi-regional, regional, or vice versa. So this is something that we cannot change it. Once you create a bucket with the help of one location type, after that you cannot edit this option. This is not an editable option. Okay, when a storage class of a bucket is changed, existing objects keep their storage class. This is one important point, sir. Okay, so you have this bucket. So far you are using this bucket as standard. Inside that, you have file 1. Okay, this file 1 be standard only. Okay, but tomorrow you change this option, bucket option, from storage to the nearline. This will not change, but from tomorrow, if you upload one more file to, that will be having a nearline. So this is how it is. When a storage class of a bucket is changed, the existing objects keep their storage class. Existing object. File 1 is your existing object here, sir. That will keep their storage class, existing storage class. But a new files from now on will have a new storage class. So that is how the answer of that question. Okay. So this is a question in one of the, yes interviews, not interview, yes exam, associate cloud engineer exam. They have asked this question. Okay. So please be attentive on this thing, guys. When a storage class of a bucket is changed, does the existing buckets or does the existing objects keep their storage class or not? Yes. Existing objects will keep their original existing storage class. From now on, whatever the new file you are uploading, that will be having a new storage class. So this is how one thing. And there is a per project rate limit to bucket creation and deletion approximately one request every 2 seconds. So in every 2 seconds, for example, in a 2 seconds, you can only create one bucket, you can only delete one bucket. After 2 seconds, you can do anything. So this is kind of a limitation you can think of, sir. In a 1 second, I wanted to create a bucket and delete a bucket, that cannot be happening. At a 1 second, every 2 seconds, there is only one request. Okay. Maximum size file for individual objects to be stored in the Google is GB. This is one of the yes question again. Okay. Associate cloud engineer exam, they have asked this question. So far we have seen any number of files, any amount of data we can store. Yes, any amount of data we can store in a bucket. But when you create it, if you are seeing this file, one particular file inside a bucket can maximum having a 5 TB. A file of maximum having 5 TB. It should be less than 5 TB, sir. One more file also can be 5 TB. But again, that file should also be 5 TB, lesser than the 5 TB. Any number of files you can store here of less than 5 TB, sir. This is one limitation that we have in the Google Cloud Storage buckets. A file cannot be more than 5 TB storage. Okay. Any number of files you can store here. But a file, if I talk about, yeah.
What about bucket size?
Bucket sizes, there is no restriction.
Okay.
Yeah. Only the file is having a restriction, that is 5 TB, less than 5 TB. Okay. So built-in caching is available already in the Google Cloud Storage. We need to worry about it. While creating a bucket, put retry logic in your code to handle name collision. So, okay. So this is something that when you wanted to create a bucket from your client libraries, okay. So you have to put a retry logic so that your bucket will not be having a problem, because whenever we try to create a bucket with the help of one name, no, if that name is not available, what we will do, sir? We will try to give up one more name. But when the client library, like one Python code or a Java code, wanted to create a bucket, so what happens is, like, if that particular name of the bucket is already available, the Java code or Python code will fail. So you put a retry logic so that it will try to create one more name and create one more bucket with that name. So that is how it works. Okay, so this is something that I have come up from my experience. Don't use your IDs, email addresses, project names, project numbers, any specific information in bucket names, because bucket names are visible. Okay, a bucket name is a globally visible option, sir. Don't put your sensitive information or P2 information as your bucket name, so that it will be visible to all. So try to come up with a proper unique name according to your business requirement, not as per your project name, not as per your project number, not as per your name, your friend's name, like that. Okay. So this is how all the general guidelines about the bucket creation, sir. Finally, final point, sir, securing the Google This is also we have seen with the help of what, sir? Two things. One is IAM, one more is ACLS. IAM is nothing but a identity access management. From Monday on, we are starting this topic, sir. Very important topic. Before entering into any service, we should understand what is the identity, what is the access, what is how we are going to manage the identity and access. Okay, ACLS is access control list. Okay, it will be a part of IAM. Don't worry about that. So what is it is saying, sir? So that bucket is having some files inside that. So that is what we are calling as the objects. So if you wanted to manage the access of an entire bucket, you can go to the IAM. This is a symbol of IAM, sir. Okay. This is IAM. And if you wanted to manage the individual buckets as well as total entire buckets, this is ACLS. Both ACLS, nothing but access control list. When you select object fine-grained version, right? Fine-grained access control, it will we can able to access both object access as well as the entire bucket access. So this is what is all about securing the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, what kind of a policies that you can put, sir? Reader, writer, owner, bucket roles. Okay, from the IAM also you can able to put those things. From the ACLS also you can able to put those. If it is the object level, you will be able to put these things. If it is the bucket level, you will be able to put these things. Bucket level is IAM, object level is ACLS. Done. Any questions, sir, so far? So with this one, we have completed our Google Cloud Storage from end to end, sir, with even with the practical things as well, I believe. If you guys have any questions on the Google Cloud Storage, you can ask me.
In real time, we will
I will try
create
to
the
help you on
bucket.
this. Yeah.
In real time, we will create the bucket, or the DevOps team they will create the bucket.
Sorry.
In real time, we do have the permission for creating the bucket.
How? Of course, we have a permission to create a bucket. It's
Okay.
not that I manually create a bucket. What I will do, for example, is like, for example, you are working in a sandbox environment. You wanted to try it out. You can create your own bucket, and you keep your own files, and you work with the data processing. You work with the BigQuery loading. So anything you can do it. Yes. And in the real time, one more is, for example, sir, do I have access to the prod environment creatable? Can I create a bucket inside it? If you wanted to do that manually, we never do that, but we will try to create a bucket with help of the Terraform or something. So that Terraform is storing some kind of a files inside that. So that is how one more thing. But usually if it is a sandbox environment or it is your pilot project where you wanted to try it out, yes, you can able to create. In the companies, they are allowing you to create a bucket. Yes, we can do that. It's not that DevOps team will take care of it. DevOps team does not need it. It's a very simple thing. Okay. Storage of a bucket is very simple. Yeah.
So what is offline import and what is online import?
So if you wanted to, connect it to your SDKs and import the data, that is one thing. Or you are in the Google Cloud Storage and import the data, that is also one more thing. So that is how we do.
SDK means I'm not.
SDK is nothing but a software development kit, sir. Usually, so some people wanted to load the data to the Google Cloud Storage from their local machine, and the data is very huge but the Cloud Shell is having only the 5 GB persistent disk, right? Disk storage is 5 GB only in the Cloud Shell. If I wanted to store a 10 GB of file inside my Cloud storage, in that way, Cloud Shell is not useful for me. In that case, what I will do, I will download a Cloud SDK. I can upload that. So that is one way of doing it. That is what we call online and offline. And one more thing is like there are transfer appliances. This is one more important thing. What is transfer appliances? We will see in our upcoming classes, but I wanted to give you understanding. So for example, sir, you have a lot here that is think that some 10 GB. Okay, you wanted to move 10 GB to your GCS, Google Cloud Storage. Okay, you use in the in the Google Cloud Storage, we have a transfer appliances and we have a transfer services. Okay, what this will do is automatically you will connect it to this, so you connect it to your destination as your GCS. This will take care of transferring the data from this local machine to your GCS bucket. So this is also we have. So this is what we are calling as the online offline imports. Any amount of data we can store, we can upload it. If it is a simple file, we manually do it. If it is a large file, we can provide it to the transfer services. Any other questions, guys?
Okay, there is no limit for data to transfer.
There's no limit. We can store any amount of data. Yes. So this is how, because we are came to a situation, or we are in a technology right now where almost all the limitations we have removed. For example, when we were working in a 10 years before, 15 years before, when I started my career, what happened is like we used to have on-premises things. For example, if I wanted to maintain cluster, if I wanted to store the data, what I have to do is like I have to a company has to maintain its own data center. A company has to manage all its storage equipment, all of those things, right? So if they wanted to store an extra data, they have to go and buy an extra equipment for the storage.
Right.
Now that is something, managing that data is not easy again. So for example, even though I plug in everything and all the connections are good, but if I wanted to retrieve the data, it takes a lot of time for me. Okay. And loading the data from one storage device to one more storage device also, it was taking a lot of time at that time. Now from that situation we came to a situation that with even very less time, we can able to even store some petabytes of the data in the Google Cloud storage as well. So that's how we are in a situation. Okay. So there is no point of talking about that's where, because why we are using the cloud is because scalability. Okay, any amount of data I wanted to store, because I don't wanted to worry about the storage, I don't wanted to worry about my networking, I don't wanted to worry about my CPU, RAM, all of these things. All these things are scalable, sir. When I say scalable, today you use some amount of storage today, tomorrow you wanted to use almost 10 types of today's. Okay, in that case also it is fine. You can store it, you can use it. Even the RAM also. Today you have selected some, some 4 GB of RAM, but tomorrow you need it like 20 GB of RAM or 40 GB of RAM. So that is also available. Power, machine power is also available. So that is where we are now. That's the main reason that we are using a Google Cloud platforms. Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Do we have any script? Through script also we can create a bucket?
Yes,
Like
through
Python
script
or
also we can create a bucket. So what we will do, while we were talking about this one, sir, data proc, or while we were talking about data flow, cloud composer. Anyway, at that time we are using a Python. Okay, so in the we will see how we are creating a bucket from the Python and how we are storing the data. So that we will see from there. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So I want us to understand now. We now know what is a Google Cloud Storage, and we got some idea about, okay, this is what we talked about, a data lake and all, right? So let me tell you how to create an account today. We have time. Of course, yeah, one offline file can be stored in different buckets. Yes, we can store it. So you have a one file you wanted to store in a multiple buckets, that can be stored. And also I will tell you guys, this is not the thing. Okay, I just want you to understand that in the companies how they are using, I will tell you. Okay, so this is a requirement. For example, this is your bucket one, sir. Okay. You can think of this bucket one is your transactional bucket. Okay, and this is your archival bucket. We will be having a use cases or scenarios like that. We will be actually doing automating these kind of things. Think that this is okay. Sorry, this is bucket 2. Okay, in this bucket, so usually, sir, I am going. What I will have to do is like I have to send this data from the bucket to the BigQuery, a data warehouse. You can think of data warehouse. And with before doing that, I wanted to do some data processing. I am using some data flow. So what I am doing, sir, I am doing this activity, I am doing this activity. Okay, Once this entire activity, for example, from sales.csv. So this is a scenario, sir. There is CSV file, sales.csv file. I got a data from the business. Okay, there is a business is happening behind the scene, and from that business I got a data, and I am using a data flow for transformation and loading the data to the data warehouse. So once the data is there in the data warehouse in the form of a table, I don't need this file, right? I don't need this file to be here, because once the processing is done, I wanted to move that file to automatically move that file from bucket 1 to bucket 2, because this is an operational bucket. This is a history bucket. All the tracking of the files will be stored here. So you will be able to move this file from bucket 1 to bucket automatically. So such kind of a scenarios we will see in our upcoming classes, how we are managing this kind of activities. Okay, it's not that I wanted to manually do it, sir. Once this pipeline is done, once the data is available in the data warehouse, I wanted it to be moved to the bucket 2. This is something that I am not available, because think that we are not available all the time, right? So once the pipeline runs successfully, the file has to be moved from bucket 1 to bucket 2. So this kind of scenarios are very important in the companies. And one more thing is like, so as soon as one file is created, so there is also one more requirement. As soon as the file is created in this bucket, I wanted to load that file into one more bucket as well, because I provide access to this bucket to many people. Okay, I provide access to many people. But I don't want anyone to touch this bucket, because I don't want anyone to touch this bucket. So if I provide access to many people, they may do some kind of activities on the file. So the file may be corrupt, or the file may be modified, the file may be deleted. Okay, so this is a bucket 2. As soon as the file is created, it should be copied to the bucket 2 as well. Okay, and whatever the files I created here, automatically it should be copied to the bucket 2. This bucket 2 I will provide access to many people, but this bucket I never provide access to anyone. The only thing that I do is like I just copy it from this bucket 1 to bucket 2, so that different teams can have these files. Whatever the files that were, different teams can follow, because there will be a machine learning team, there will be a data lake team, there will be a data warehousing team, there will be an analytics team, there will be a looker team. So what they will do is like they take this file for a sample purpose, or they will take this file as their input, and they will try to do some kind of activity on top of it, right? So for that purpose, I will provide him access to different teams. But this file I wanted it to be keep myself, because if I even because if I lost the files from here, I don't have any location where I can retrieve it. So that's where I will be keeping my bucket 1 as my main repository. This is my secondary repository. So this is how I am planning in companies. Okay, so for this scenarios also, we will be seeing in our upcoming classes how we are planning this kind of a things with the cloud functions. Okay. Yeah. So let me try to create them. Let me try to tell you how to create an account, sir, in the GCP. If anyone having their debit card or credit card ready, and their username and password with the Google Cloud Gmail is ready, if they can share with me, sir, I can create an account for them. Okay, so it would be easy for others in the process as well. So if anyone having such thing, if they wanted to create a bucket, sorry, if they wanted to create a Google account, so let us try to do it. Anyone want to tell you the process, or if anyone have their credentials ready, they can share it with me, sir. I will tell you how to create a Google Cloud account now. Okay. Anyone want me to try it?
I have one more doubt. We are using Terraform, right? We'll be using any Jenkins for creating pipeline, or it's a different?
No, we are not actually using the Terraform. Actually, in our classes, we are not actually worried about what is that, because it's not a DevOps class. It's a data engineering. But I'll tell you. So people using Terraform for infrastructure building. There will be a control manager tools are also there. Okay, for managing the infrastructure. After the creation of infrastructure, they wanted to manage the activities, right? So there will be a CMT tools. and there will be Ansible and all of those things are also there. But the mainly the thing is like nowadays the Terraform is very famous for infrastructure building, and it is very easy not to worry about, because there is also people use ARM templates also, template methods also they will use for infrastructure building. But mainly Terraform is becomes very famous and it is very easy to use, because there is only 5 to 6 concepts. The only thing is like how we can create a resource. That is the main important thing. Resource creation is the something that we can directly learn from the Google also. I'll go to the Terraform public website and I'll just copy the code of a resource, and I'll just make use of that code according to my business requirement. So that's all. But mainly Terraform, Ansible, different tools are also there. But we are not learning in our course. This course is only for data engineers. Yeah. Yeah. Sir, with the help of Gmail, can we create a free account? Yes, we can. With the help of a Gmail, we can create an account. Please, anyone, if you guys wanted to create an account on behalf of you, so I will try to create an account. Just to provide your username and password from the Gmail and your credentials, like debit card. That's it. Okay, I will create an account for you online here. Other people also can able to see the process, because I have created my account, so that's the reason. I will give 2 minutes if anyone wanted to try it out. Yeah. So okay, a password also, can you keep it? Can you approve this one? So this is how first we enter the Gmail username as well as password, sir. Once we enter the Gmail username and password, we are inside the Google Cloud platform. We just logged into the Google Cloud platform. Once we have logged into the Google Cloud platform, this is how the first page looks like. Okay. So this is how the first page looks like, guys. Okay. Once this first page is looking like this, you select this is your Gmail account, and you select your country properly, and you click on terms of service, agree to the terms of service, and click on continue. Okay. Once you have clicked on continue, so this is the place where you wanted to activate. You see here at the top, you will be able to see. So this is something that you have to understand. Once you have entered into the Google Cloud, you have to activate your free trial status. Okay, for that one, there are, even though if you don't see this option, you will be able to see this reward option. You can click on it. Or even though if you don't see that option also, you will be able to see try for free. Okay, you can click on this activate button. You can click on this try for free, any option. Click on this thing. Once you clicked on this thing, you will be going to the next page where you have to enter your details. Okay. There are 2 steps. I will tell you one by one. There are actually 2 steps here, guys. Okay. So you enter your country and what is your main need of creating this account. Main need of creating this account. This account, I am creating it for startup idea. I'll click on terms and service. I agree to the terms and service and click on continue. What I have done, sir, I have selected a proper country and I have selected my business idea and startup idea as my need, and I will click on continue. Okay. Now, once the in the second step, this is our final step, sir. What we have to do is like we just have to enter our the card details and we have to enter the tax information. For the tax information, click on the tax information, tax status, click on unregistered individual. That's it. Okay. Click on this one. For the card details, we have to provide the card details, sir. Can you share me? So are you sharing your details, Vijay Lakshmi? You do not have it ready? Yeah. So I got it. So here it is, guys. So
Screen isn't recording.
I will blank it. Okay. I will just okay. Yeah. So you provide your card details, guys. No one will be able to see my screen now. So let's wait because I will try to enter the card details properly. The card number is invalid. Vijay Lakshmi, can you share your proper details? Can you check it once? One number is missing, I believe.
Everything is right, sir.
Everything is right. 3611. There will be two numbers are missing, right? If you can see, there will be 16 numbers, right, for any card.
14 is there. Credit card, sir.
Oh, but why it is saying invalid? Oh, this is not working. I know why. No, it's not working. So you try to create an account, but this is how, sir. So let me tell you the process. I'll tell you the process, guys. Hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So you enter your credit card number. Once a credit card number or debit card number is entered, and once you have to provide your CVV or all of those things, and you click on Start My Free Trial. What it will do is like it will debit 2 rupees from your account, and you have to complete your transaction. It will ask for OTP. You complete the transaction. Only 2 rupees will be debited, sir. Once the 2 rupees is debited, you have to click on this. Start my free trial option so that your account will be created with the $300. You will be able to see that option in the billing details. Okay, so this is how the process. The process is also I have listed here, sir. I will tell you process here as okay, somewhere there is a process account creation. Yes. Okay, so you go to this particular website. I will paste the website in our chart so that all people will have this. Okay, I have pasted the website in the chart, guys. Okay, and some people, sorry. Okay, so you go to that particular website, you provide your Google username and password. Okay, once you log in is successful, your account is created. So welcome to the console. Choose your country and agree and continue. Okay, so at the top you will be able to see this option. Click on activate. So you have to enter two things. One is your country name. One is your business idea. You enter, and after that continue. You enter your payment details. You add your payment details. Click and start your free trial. That's it, guys. Okay, once you have entered your payment details, there will be a page opens for your transaction of that payment. That transaction debits only 2 rupees, guys. Once that transaction is successful, your account with the free trial status is created. So that is what is a very simple thing, guys. Only 2 steps. First step is very simple. In the second step, you have to enter your card details and complete the transaction. Once the transaction is completed successfully, you will be able to do it simply. Your account will be created with a free trial status of 300 credits. Where I can see that if you ask me, sir, if you go to, okay, where it is like if you go to so that I will be able to show you how it be. Just recently only I have created my account. It's been just week, I guess. So once your account is created, guys, if you what you can do is like you can just directly go to the billing, click on the billing on the left navigation. Okay, so you will be able to see if you go down on the right side, if you go down, you'll be able to see like this. No cost of trial credit. This is how for you it will be showing here 90 days and almost 24,825 rupees will be added to your credits. So 24,825 credits will be added to your account. For next 90 days, you can use these credits for working with the Google Cloud platform. Okay, so this is the process, guys. Once you created your account, you will be able to see here 24,825 rupees or 24,000 rupees plus, so that you will be able to use these credits for your experimentation purpose in the GCP. Whatever the activity that you wanted to do, whatever the tool you wanted to learn, practice, whatever the thing, you can do it here with these credits. This is a lot more credits, guys. Even though you use it, if you use it very perfectly without creating any, without leaving the instance idle, then you will be able to use maximum in the 90 days is like 10,000 only. Other 14,000, other 10,000 will be wasted. Okay, try to use it for maximum, practice more in this 90 days and you will be able to get a lot of knowledge from it. Yeah, so this is how you can create an account, guys. The only thing is like first you have to enter your, go to this particular website which I have pasted in the chart and you provide your username, password. Click once you are entered into the login page, provide your username and password, and once the login is successful, go to the console, click on this activate button or try for free. You enter your there will be a 2 steps. One is you have to enter your country name and organization need. After that you have to enter your payment information. Once the card details are entered, you have to complete the transaction with OTP, then account gets successfully created. So this is what it is. Okay, so this is okay. Once the, if you wanted to use any service, you go to the GCP, select your project, proper project, or create a new project, enable the billing, choose a service which you wanted to do, which you wanted to practice, and enable the API of that service and start using the service. That's it. Okay.
In free period, can we create a new project?
We can create any number of projects. I think for free trial status, we can create maximum 10 projects. Okay.
There is no bill for that.
There is no
billing cycle for
there
that.
won't be any bills, sir. All the bills will be debited from our free trial status only. All that, whatever the thing that you are doing, all will be debited from your free trial status. For creating a new project, there won't be any bill. If you use any resources, that's where the cost will be tracked. Yeah. Any questions? Anyone tried to create an account now?
Already created.
Okay, that's great, guys. If anyone has not created, try to create it, guys, so that you from tomorrow or Monday onwards, we can able to further go into the more deeper, so that we'll be able to look at each practice. So come up with your account and try to practice this, how to create a bucket from the console as well as Cloud Shell, and try more questions as well on the Cloud Shell, guys. In the Cloud Shell, you can look at how to create a folder and how to move a folder from one bucket to one more bucket, how to move a file from one file to one bucket to one more bucket. Those kind of activities you do it, so that you will be able to comfortable with the Cloud Shell as well. Okay, yeah.
Uh, so what is the tools you use for the migration of data from on-prem storage
Yeah.
to GCP bucket?
How it's different from data engineer with GCP and big data engineer with GCP?
Yeah. So one question at a time. Yeah, I'll tell the answer to that question. Data engineer with the GCP and that one. Yeah, someone is asking one more question. A data migration. Can you tell me that?
So what are the tools you use for data migration from on-prem to GCP, the
Yeah.
cloud data migration?
Yeah. So this is a one more question. So first thing, the first question was this one, sir. What is the difference between the data engineer in GCP and a big data engineer in GCP? So more are same, guys. Okay, more are same. Both are same almost. The data engineer, what they will do, a big data engineer, what they will do, it's a terminology, because the role is like that. But the data engineer, some people call it as a big data developer, some people call it as a data engineer in some companies. But as a data engineer, we will be working on these tools only. As a big data engineer, also we will be working on these tools only. Okay. And if you go to the different companies, they will be having a different role names. So that's it. But as an engineer, data engineer or a big data engineer, both are same. Okay, but nowadays the terminology, the trend came to like this: a data engineer working with the own small set of the data, but big data engineer working on a large data set. But the idea is that might be starting about, I mean, that's where we have started. But the thing is, like, nowadays both are working on both areas. Okay, that's one thing. And one more question is, what are the tools that we are using for the data migration in the GCP? Yes, that's a good question. So there are plenty of the things that we can use in the data migration. So first thing is, like, either you can go for the data processing systems. Nowadays people are using the data flow from Oracle to the Cloud SQL, or Oracle to the BigQuery. We can use data flow. Or for the, if you wanted to migrate to the Cloud SQL, for example, I have an on-premises MySQL, sir. I wanted to move it to the on-premise cloud MySQL. In that case, what you can do is, like, you can use DMS service, data migration service. Also, you can use, or you can import export option. Also, you can go for that. So you can directly export your entire database into the some form of a dump file and import it here. That is also you can do it. So there are plenty of other ways. While we were talking about a data migration, so these are the ways we will be looking at. But these are the ways that we can. Yeah.
In real time, we will be
Is this
working on
continuous
all the tools like that.
for this?
There are many questions I'm having at a time.
Sorry.
Yeah, can you guys actually ask one at a time? Actually, there are different people on this meeting, so that's the reason. So yeah, Chinna is asking one question. Can you ask?
Yeah, in real time, we'll be using all the tools at a time, or a particular tool
No,
depends based on the
no.
project, I
There
think.
will be a particular. There will be a particular tool at a time.
Okay, data proc or data flow
Yeah,
like that.
data proc or data flow or data processing system like that. Yeah.
Okay, but all this BigQuery is mandatory, right?
Here we are
Database also
using
BigQuery.
here we are using any ETL tool for that also.
Yeah. So Poonam, you are asking some questions, right? Yeah, can you ask me now? Yeah.
Yeah, means ETL tool also we are using like Informatica, Tableau here for.
Here we are using. You are asking.
Sorry.
Okay, I did not understood your question. Your voice is very low. Can you talk a bit louder?
Yeah, I'm asking for means data migration or for data engineers, some tools are also required, ETL tools. So what tool ETL tools?
Yes. That's a very good question. So we need not to worry about ETL. See, when I say a data Google Cloud project, all the tools are here inside the Google Cloud only. So when I say if I want a ETL tools, we have a ETL tools in the Google Cloud. If you wanted to have a dashboard tools, we have a visualization tools also. If I wanted to have a data warehouse, I have a data warehouse here. So when I say Google Cloud project, it's all the tools we are going to use from the Google Cloud only. But nowadays there is a concept of hybrid cloud also came into the multi-cloud also came into the picture. But when I say it, if I'm working in a Google Cloud project, the ETL tool from the Google Cloud only, and the data warehouse is from the Google Cloud only. So that's all. We know we don't need to go to the SSIS or Informatica. Yeah.
Okay.
So guys, someone is asking a question, but I can't hear it. It could be a reason that there is some network issue or something. No, something is wrong, guys. I cannot actually hear it. Someone is talking, but I cannot hear it. Can you try unmute yourself and talk now? I have muted yourself. Can you unmute yourself and talk now? Okay, I believe no one is having any questions. No, don't worry about, sir. I will tell you what is the trend in the company. And with this, we will try to close our session today. So, for example, for the data ingestion, we need not to go anywhere because in the GCP we have a GCP tools are there. Okay. One more is data processing. We need not to go to any other tool in the for the data processing. We have a GCP. Okay. And for data warehousing, we have GCP tools again. And for data migration, we can use it with the GCP. For ETL, we have GCP. For scheduling, for scheduling also we have a GCP. So we have a plenty of different services in the GCP that we can use it for ingestion purpose, storing purpose, processing purpose, warehousing purpose, migration purpose, ETL and scheduling. So we need not to go to anywhere. Even though, for example, when you are learning working with the Azure also, the same thing. When you are working in the Azure also, Azure will be having all of these tools. Even the AWS will have all of these things. Even the Google GCP will also will have all of these things. Okay, so one person is working in Azure. Does that mean he will be using all the Azure tools for his entire project? Okay, that is one thing. Yeah, someone is putting a chart. Do we get a practical knowledge on these topics from these classes? Of course, we will be getting a practical knowledge on it. There will be a scenario based questions, and there will be a scenario real-time project oriented topics also we are going to discuss. Yes, there are 4 to 5 real-time projects are there, which will be very helpful for you to understand the data processing, data ingestion, data warehousing, data migration, and ETL case study. Okay, so this is something that we are going to have it. So yeah, any other questions, guys?
Notes, sir.
Can I have the
Okay,
PPT,
guys.
sir? To this PPT that
PPT, I will not be able to share you. I will share you my material. My material is equivalent to the PPT only, so which will be having all the information. Monday, I will share it with you guys. Okay, so all the information will be here. How to do what and how to work with the shell. Also, it is here. How to work the normal topics, whatever we are discussing. I'll try to keep it here so that you will be able to have it later. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow Monday onwards we are going to talk about IIM. So this is going to be IIM, guys. What is IIM? What we can do with the IIM? All of these things we are going to discuss here.
okay. So can you, sir, ping that command line? Try to
Sorry?
that command lines which you used to build that bucket. I mean that.
Yeah, we'll share you that, sir. It's not that much easy. For now, we are just created how to store the data in the bucket, right? Maybe some point of time, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow or after few weeks, we will be able to see how to retrieve the data from the Google Cloud Storage and how to do the processing on top of it. That's where the Google Clouds to understand, you are going to appreciate the technology of the Google Cloud Storage. Now it will be easy that, okay, it is for only storing and retrieval. That's what you will think about it. But tomorrow you will be able to understand how we are retrieving it, how it will be very useful. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. So that is it for today. What you guys have to do for me is like, you just have to complete the registration, sir. So from Monday onwards, the link will be different. Okay. Monday onwards, link to class will be changed. So complete your registration so that you will be able to have a classes in without any interruption. And this is something that I want you to understand. Okay. Enroll to this course so that we will be able to have a classes regularly. Yeah. Thank you all. If anyone have not completed their enrollment, just please try to complete it. Okay. Our team try to call you, and based on that, you will be able to complete your registration. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the session today. Today is our first session. I'm going to give you the demo. What are the course content that we're going to discuss? And the very first thing what I will do is like today, how to create a free tier account in the GCP. That is what is the agenda today. And first, I will also tell you what is the course content that we are going to discuss in our session. Okay. So all the things related to the course content. And after that, I will tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP. First, let us understand what is a Google Cloud Platform, guys. Okay. So GCP, what is GCP? Okay, so we are seeing nowadays, cloud platforms become very famous because cloud platforms are mainly responsible for the cloud computing. Okay, so all the computation required for the data engineering or Kubernetes or application development, everything will be taken care by the cloud platform itself. Likewise, in the Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider like AWS and Azure. So it is also providing you the cloud computing services. Okay. If we have to say what are the services that the GCP is providing, okay, in terms of a data engineering, you can look at the databases that it is providing, and also big data tools, big data processing tools, so many other. So these are the things that the Google Cloud provides. For example, there is a compute engines, Kubernetes engines, app engines, like with cloud functions, serverless platforms, fully managed services. Okay. So all of these things that the Google Cloud Platform is providing for us. Okay. In our session, what we are going to discuss this, let me open a OneNote where I'll tell you what is the course content that we are going to discuss in our session, and a later point of time. So if you guys have any questions, I will we will spend the time to discuss discuss if you guys have any questions. And let me tell you what is the course content first. So here is the course content, guys. So as we already know, as I mentioned, Google Cloud Platform is providing a pool of cloud computing services such as Google storage and database services, as well as big data services. Okay, here also you can see Google big data services. Okay, so in our session, what we are going to discuss is these are the things that we are going to discuss in our session, guys. Google storage and database services. Okay, the very first service, that is what we are going to discuss, is Google Cloud Storage. What is a Google Cloud Storage? Why it is important? What kind of a tool it is? What kind of a data it is going to store? All the things related to the Google Cloud Storage. And not only that, very important things about is like security aspect, because Google Cloud is a one of the scalable and secured platform. So when you say secure platform, how do you make sure that it is secure? So with the help of the access control, with the help of the retention policies, with the help of the bucket access. So all of these things we are going to discuss. And after that, we are going to look at the cloud SQL. Okay. For that one, let me actually open my pen. Database services. Okay. This is one point where we will be able to learn storage and database services. Okay, in this one, we are going to first see Google Cloud Storage. Yes, Google Cloud Storage is acting as a data lake in the GCP. So we are going to learn all the concepts related to the GCP. So it is acting as a data lake. So we will learn what is a data lake, why it is a Google Cloud Storage is having a considered as a data lake here, how much amount of data we can store in the Google Cloud Storage, all of those things we will see. Okay, and we will see practically how to create a bucket and how to upload objects and how to work with the Google Cloud Storage with from the Cloud Shell or Linux commands. So all of those things we will see, guys. And one more thing. So this is a storage perspective. What about the database perspective? So for the RDBMS solutions, RDBMS, we have Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner, guys. So we have two services which are considered as the RDBMS solutions, Cloud SQL as well as Cloud Spanner. What is this Cloud SQL, guys? Cloud SQL is one of the fully managed services provided by the GCP for running the MySQL database, MySQL engines, as well as PostgreSQL engines, as well as SQL Server. That means if you have a on-premises MySQL, if you wanted to migrate it to the same MySQL with the same version to the cloud, you have these services available, readily available, guys. Okay, so this is a Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner that we are going to see in our sessions. Instead, I would say here like this. Storage services. We have here RDBMS. In RDBMS, we have first one Cloud SQL, second one is Cloud Spanner, guys. Okay, these are the two services comes under RDBMS. What about a NoSQL databases, guys? If you ask me, so in a NoSQL databases, we have a big table. Okay. NoSQL databases. So we have big table, and we have one more thing called data store. Okay, so these are the two databases acting as a NoSQL databases in the GCP. one is big table, one more is data store, guys. Okay, so these are all storage and database services. Okay, what is one is Google Cloud Storage, one more is Cloud SQL Cloud Spanner, and the third one is a big table and data store. So these are the Google Cloud Storage and database services. Okay. So what about the other big data tools that we are learning, sir? If you ask me, the big data tools that we are learning here is because we do get the data from a multiple data sources, right? We do get the data from multiple data sources. Once the data from a multiple data sources we are going to first send it to the storage layer or a data lake or a staging layer. Once we have the data in the staging layer, we wanted to send the data to where, guys? We wanted to send the data to send that data to the data warehouse. After that, there will be a different users will be there. Either it will be an ad hoc request, or it will be a reporting purposes, or it will be a business manager asking for a requirement. So there will be different requirements. So based on those requirements, we are going to create some insight tables on the data warehouse. Those will be used for the reporting purposes, or those will be used for the decision making purpose. Okay, so this is how it looks like this. If I wanted you to understand clearly, so here data will be first ingested into the data lake. So here it can be an RDBMS. It can be a web server on an application. It can be a web server on an application, guys. Or it can be a CSV file from an application or IoT data from an IoT application. So you get a data from a multiple data sources. You try to ingest the data into the data lake. So this is your data lake, guys. You try to ingest the data into the data lake. And once you have the data in the data lake, you try to first send the data to the where, guys. You try to process the data and send it to the data warehouse. Okay, what you are doing, guys, here, you are trying to process the data. Okay, process the data, transform the data, clean the data, whatever the things you name it, all of those things, guys. Okay, you try to process the data and send it to the data warehouse. Finally, as per the business requirements, it will be creating a ML models. There will be a dashboard requirements. There will be ad hoc requirements. So based on the BA requirements or ML or some ad hoc requirement. Ad hoc. Okay. So this is how it will be, guys. Okay, so this is what is a typical architecture of a data world, guys. A data engineering, in a data engineering, what we will do in a high level, if you want you to understand, this is what we do, guys. So we will be working on an ingestion process. Here it is a source, guys. You can think this is a source. Okay, from source to the staging or a data lake. People call it as a storage layer. Okay, and here we are going to do what, guys? Ingestion, right? Ingestion are collecting the data, and what we are doing is we are doing process. What we are doing in a data warehouse, we are trying to analyze the data, transform or analyze, right? Transform, finally analyze. Analysis. So this is what I am calling, what you know, guys. This is what is mean by a data life cycle. In a data life cycle, you're gonna get the data from a source. You do the ingestion into a storage layer. and you do processing on top of it to clean the data or prepare the data. You do some transformations on top of it, and you try to analyze the data to improve your business. So this is what is called as a data life cycle. In a data life cycle, ingesting the data, collecting or ingesting the data, and storing the data, processing or transforming the data, finally analysis, or you can also say dashboards, report creation. You can also say report creation, reporting. Sorry, reporting. Okay, so this is what is the typical life cycle, data life cycle, guys. In a data life cycle, this from the source to the finally reporting, that is where your destination is, right? You are going to create some dashboards, or you have a table that you can do directly do the analysis, or you ingest the data and finally store it in a one, instead of a storage layer, you can just mention it as a storage layer, storing, data storing. Okay. Okay, this is what it is, a typical architecture. In this one, what you are doing, you are having a data sources from here, and you are ingesting into the data lake, and from the data lake to the data warehouse. Finally, you will be having a different requests. So based on this one. So in a data life cycle, these are the processes that you are coming up with, guys. In this one, you see, you are having a source, sorry. You are having a source, ingesting, storing, processing, as well as transforming the data. So this is what is a typical architecture. It will be real. This architecture is very helpful for you to understand the data engineering, guys. But here, what are the RDBMS? So, okay, sir, this is a data engineering life cycle. But you tell me, what are the RDBMS technologies that we are going to learn in our sessions? If you ask me that question, okay, so here I have mentioned here RDBMS, Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner. Sometimes it can be a non-RDBMS as well, nothing but a NoSQL databases as well. That can be a big table or a data store. Okay, sir, for ingestion purpose, what are the tools that we are using, sir? There are plenty of the tools for the ingestion purpose. People are using the PubSub, people are using the Kafka connector. We are going to learn the PubSub, guys. Okay, what about the data lake, sir? As a data lake, we are learning the Google Cloud Storage, guys. Okay, what is the data lake, sir? In GCP, we are learning the Google Cloud Storage that is acting as a data lake. Okay, and after that, we wanted to do some processing on top of it, right? This is also very important step, guys. This is not the very simple step. Processing. What are the processing tools that we are going to learn in our session? If you ask me, I want to mention those points here. Okay, data processing services. Data processing services. That first thing we are going to learn is data proc for Hadoop and Spark environment. Data flow for Apache Beam with Apache Beam programming model. Data fusion for creating a data pipelines without writing any code. One more is Cloud Composer, nothing but Airflow environment, managed Airflow instance, guys. For creating a DAGs. It is a workflow orchestration tool where you create a DAGs with the help of the Python coding, guys. Very important tool. Okay, you're gonna look at the PubSub. And so these are the data processing systems that you are going to learn in our session, guys. Okay, so this is what I call as a data processing tool. Data processing tools in GCP. Okay, so if you wanted to process the data, okay, you can use these many tools according to your requirements, sir. If I wanted to work with the data, if I wanted to work with the Hadoop environment and Spark environment, then you go for the data proc. If you wanted to work with a serverless platform and Apache Beam programming model, then you go for the data flow. You don't want it to create a data pipe. You wanted to create a data pipeline, but you don't want it to write any code. You wanted to create a pipeline and do the transformations without writing any code. That's where you have to go for the data fusion, guys. And one more thing, you have a plenty of workflows with you, and you wanted to manage all the workflows, schedule them, manage them, and even if something goes wrong, also if you wanted to take care of the fixing the problems, issues, you can look at the logs, all of those things. If you wanted to have, you can go to the Cloud Composer, that is the Airflow Manager instance, where you will be able to have plenty of options available. You can schedule the pipelines, you can monitor the pipelines, you can create the DAX, you can do anything in there. And one more thing is a PubSub is an big data ingestion tool, where you will be able to streaming data ingestion tool, where you will be able to create a topic and subscription for each and every application where you wanted to get a data. So a message will be pushed to the topic, and via subscription data will be reached to the final application. So this is what is a data processing tools, guys. Okay. And after that, okay, after that, not only this one, sir. For example, in your company, you wanted to do some kind of a triggering. For example, think that in your data warehouse, you have created a one table, and that table is having a lot of problems. Okay, if problems are more than one, you wanted to get an email alert. Okay, what do you wanted to do, sir? If a problem has if the issues are more than one, you wanted to get an email alert. Okay, that is one thing. And one more requirement is like, you are creating a data bucket in the Google Cloud Storage, and there will be a file uploaded. As soon as the file is uploaded to the data lake, you wanted to send it to the data warehouse by doing some transformations. Okay, so that is where one more you wanted to trigger an event. So if you wanted to do some kind of event based things in the GCP, you have a cloud functions readily available, guys. It is a serverless platforms. You can go for event based things. That is also we are learning, guys. Cloud functions, very important tool. This is also okay. The cloud functions also we are learning. And if you wanted to manage the user and access, identity and access management, user and project management. If you wanted to manage your project and user access, that's where you have a very bigger tool. It will be available in all the cloud platforms. That is IAM, guys, very important. In IAM, what is a user, what is a user account, what is a service, what is a service account, and what is a role, what is a permission, everything, each and everything, because this will be very helpful for those who wanted to manage the access. Because as a 3 years, 4 years experience, guys, or more than that, we need to understand at least who should be having access to what. Okay, who should be having access to what, and what kind of actions he can do it in that particular service. Unnecessarily, we don't want it to provide access to anyone, right? So that is where we will be taking care of all the user access as well as the project management with help of the IAM. IAM is a very authorization tool, I would say. Authorization tool in the GCP, not only in the GCP, it will be available in the AWS as well as Azure as well. Okay, identity access management, guys, that is also we are learning. So you will be able to see here data lake, cloud spanner, cloud SQL, cloud spanner, bigtable, data proc, data flow, data fusion, cloud composer, PubSub, cloud functions, and user and access management with the help of the IAM. So these are all the tools that we are going to learn in a very detailed manner. Okay, data processing is here. And I sorry, guys, I actually forgot a very important tool, that is BigQuery. That is our data warehouse, right? That is also comes, actually that is not a data processing tool, that is a data warehouse tool. It is a BigQuery. Okay, BigQuery. Okay, what is a BigQuery, guys? BigQuery is a modern data warehouse. It is acting as a data warehouse in the GCP. Okay, so this is also one more important thing that I actually forgot to mention somewhere. So this is a very important tool, sir, comparatively. Okay, so this is all about the data warehouse. And if you wanted to connect it to the data warehouse and do some BI activities, we have a data studio and data looker, but we are not just focusing on those data visualization part, but at the end of the session, how people are connecting it to the data warehouse and doing some dashboards on top of our data, how it will be helpful for them. So we will see for those things, but it is not too much deeper, guys. This course is only responsible. This course is mainly intended for the data engineers. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, guys. Okay. Any questions anyone having so far on the course content? Any questions, guys?
Yeah, hi Sadhul, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Yeah.
So in this course content, did you cover all kind of like a AD authentication, like Active Directory part is or not?
So that is comes under IAM, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And cloud functions. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a kind of like a developer tool.
It's a data engineering. Which
Okay.
one you are asking? Cloud functions is a developer tool.
Yeah, no. Basically I'm a .NET developer. So can I
Okay.
consume those services to my
Of course.
intention is to create service with authenticated
Sure.
authorized service, and I can consume that service through .NET.
That yeah, you can learn a lot of things here. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
How much frequently will be using SQL?
Your voice is very less. I couldn't actually hear. Yeah.
How much frequently will be using SQL queries?
Yeah, frequency of SQL queries. So I would like you to understand that SQL and Python becomes very famous here in the data engineering. If you wanted to see Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner SQL, BigQuery SQL, and even if I go to a data proc and if I wanted to work with the PySpark, I'd be using the Python plus SQL plus Spark. Okay, so again it comes in SQL and data flow SQL, data fusion, no tool, cloud, it's a Python. So this is how it is, guys. If you wanted to understand all the concepts, whichever whatever I am saying, so you would be able to, I am expecting prerequisite for the course is a basic or at least a basic knowledge on medium knowledge on SQL and little bit of Python. Little bit, at least what is the data type? Okay, all the data types, if you learn it in the Python, that is enough. Okay, but SQL, I would expect a medium knowledge, guys. Okay, so SQL is very important, and as a data engineer, if you wanted to grow, SQL is very much important, and you should be able to understand all the concepts. For example, what are those concepts are? All the data types, was actually how to create a table, how to delete and update table. Those things are DDL commands and DML commands, and aggregations. Okay, so basic, I would say. So the concepts that you can focus on the SQL and Python, I would like to explain here, guys, so that if you are familiar with these concepts, you are well and good. Okay, in SQL. Okay, so all DDL and DML. So these are the basic things I know. You have to just to focus on how to create a table, how to delete a table, how to truncate a table, how to update a table, these things. Okay, and after that I would expect you to have a aggregate, learn about aggregate things, aggregate functions. Okay, and one more thing is ranking functions, and the fourth thing is we have table. So there is a temp table, common table expressions, and there is also one more concept. So we focus on that as well. Temp table, common table. In a temp table, there is a local temp table, global temp table, and the common table expressions. So these things, CTE, and the fifth thing I forgot one more thing. Yes, mainly, guys. So join. Okay, unions, group by, order by. Okay, group by, order by. I think this is it. If you are just are coming up, if you are focusing on these things, that is enough. In aggregate function, min, max, count, all of those things. Ranking, row number, a dense rank, a rank function, all of those things. And a temp table and CTE, joins. You will be at least inner join, left join, right join. That is enough. Unions, union and union all, group by, order by. I think this is enough, I believe, for the SQL guys. Okay, if I remember anything, I will tell you. For the Python, I would expect you to have first thing data types, guys. All the data types and differences. Very important thing. It actually takes a lot of time to understand these data types and okay. Then the very next thing is like aggregate functions. How do you do it in the aggregate function? Okay, if you get a time, look at the map and reduce, and if you still get a time, just focus on pandas framework. In a pandas, look at the data frame concept, how to create a data frame concept. That's it. Okay, if you are just focusing on these things, that is enough, I believe. Okay, all the data types, aggregate functions, map and reduce, pandas, data frame concept, if you get it. Okay, but minimum, the basic thing I would expect is this thing, all the data types and their differences. Because if I say list, you should understand what is a list. If I say tuple, if I say a dictionary, if I use some other data type, you should be in a position to understand what is an array. You should not confuse, right? You should not you should not be able to, you should be able to understand each and every term that I'm using in the Python. So that is what I want you to understand. Okay, so these are the concepts that I would expect from you guys. These are very simple concepts. If you sit for this is for 2 days, this is for 1 day, you'll be able to understand all of these concepts. That's it. And development perspective, what we are going to learn in our session, if you ask me. So these are the prerequisite, right? Sir, what I would be expecting, what kind of a development knowledge that I'm expecting from this course, if you ask me, you can expect, I would directly mention here itself, you can expect SQL development knowledge, and one more is PySpark development. Okay, these are the two things that we are focusing on. Okay, so sometimes we are also using the Python, so Python also you can get. Okay, so this is what it is. So I will also tell you how you can actually go for the Java also. So that is also fine. Sometimes one of the code or two of the codes I will also include the Java, but that is more for you to understand. Okay, this code, the code will also be there in the Java. But the thing is, like, our main focus is on SQL and Python for the data engineering, guys, because it will be really helpful for you if you wanted to grow your career in a data scientist level or a machine learning mode. Because as a data engineer, if you work for the next 2-3 years, you will be able to easily enter into the data scientist roles, or you can also go for the machine learning roles, because it is actually one another linked, guys. Okay, so this is what is a prerequisite that I would expect from you guys. Okay, this is the thing that I would if you wanted to, sir, what are the concepts that I have to go for before coming to and attending these sessions? What are the sessions? What are the things that I have to recapitulate? If you ask me, these are the things you recapitulate, guys. Okay, go for recap. And we will be learning SQL development, Python, PySpark, all of these things. No worries, because SQL will be used in most places. Python will also be used in most places. Okay, so that is one more thing. And we will also be looking at different formats, guys, CSV, Parquet, and big data formats. So I will also be telling you what are the difference between the big data formats. So because in the interviews, some people are asking me if you are working on a big data development, so did you work on the Parquet, and what is the main advantage of using the Parquet? Those kind of things also we will discuss in our sessions. That is not a problem. And I think that is enough, guys. If I missed any questions, okay, I think, yeah, roles and roles offered after this course. Like once I have completed this course, what are the roles I am eligible? If you ask me, you can go for the data engineering roles. You can go for the Google Cloud platform and GCP engineer, GCP data engineer, as well as big data developer, PySpark development. You can able to work in the PySpark because we are not just working in only one area, guys, right? So you can see each and every tool itself, it is a one project, guys. So data project will be there, data flow, data fusion, composer. So these are all roles itself. Okay, so some data engineer working on a data proc, some data engineer working on a BigQuery, some data engineer working data fusion, some data engineer solely working on creating a DAG. So this is how it will be. And some people working on RDBMS data migration projects. Okay, data lake projects. So these are all things are related to the data projects only, guys. And after this, all the concepts are covered. Okay, during our course also we are going to cover many projects. So few projects are covered. I mean, once the, for example, if I am talking about a data proc, while I am doing the data proc, I will be able to cover the project as well. So what are such, how many projects that we are covering? If you ask me, guys, we are going to cover almost 4 to 5 projects, real-time projects. And one more thing is like, these are real-time projects you can able to put in your resume. That is one point. And one more thing I want you to understand is like, okay, so whenever we talk about a one service, I would go to the Google Cloud platform and I will try to explain all the things about that service theoretically and practically, and I will implement a solution there itself. So what you have to do is like you take some time in the day and you have to practice the same thing so that you will be able to understand, because practice gives you a lot of knowledge, guys. Understanding everything seems very simple. Okay, while I'm explaining, everything seems very simple, but after 2 days, 3 days, if you don't practice the thing, you wouldn't be able to understand the concept after 2 or 3 days. Okay, I want everyone to put at least spare 2 hours every day, 1 hour for the class, 1 hour for the practice session. Okay, so that is what you have to do, guys. And this course actually takes 40 to 45 hours, guys. More than 40 hours. Okay, more than 40 hours it will take. Okay, we will be having a daily Monday to Friday 1 hour, 1 hour session. Okay, this is one more thing. And recordings will be shared to your emails. You will get a recording, guys. And one more thing is like what I actually forgot. Course duration, course content, daily 1 hour session. I think this is it, guys. Okay. Okay, this is one thing. And someone is asking me, if you guys have any questions, you can ask, guys. Floration, do speak, please.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yeah.
So the thing is that I am a VMware guy. Come from last 8 years, I'm working in VMware. So this platform is completely new to me. So is that a good decision to go for that this course?
Yeah, it will be really helpful for you guys for going to this course. It will really helpful for you. And because why I'm saying is like a data engineering is a foundational course. And one more thing, in our course, I will be starting from very basic to the advanced. I cover sometimes what is the data. I mean, because when we talk about a relational databases, I would talk about what is the data, what are the classification of the data, what is meant by structured, unstructured, semi-structured data. And one more thing is like what are the types of databases available, DBMS, RDBMS, and NoSQL databases. So from starting very basic to the advanced level where we will be able to automate the data pipelines. Automation, until the automation we will be covering every aspect. So this course will be really helpful for you if you wanted to build your career in the data engineering. Data engineering is not simple, guys. One more thing I want you to understand, very trending technology, very trending. As data keeps on grows, data engineering will be a very trending and hot job for getting a lot of opportunities. First thing, because data keep on grows, data engineer will be in a trending job. Okay, and there will be a plenty of opportunities and highly paid job, guys. If you go and look at the highly paid jobs in the world, data engineering is one of the job which is a highly paid jobs. Okay, yeah. Someone is
Okay.
asking
So
for a duration. The course duration is 40 plus hours, and course fee you can able to contact the team so that they will be able to help you on the course fee, guys.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. So one more thing, sorry for interrupt. One more thing.
yeah.
So as you mentioned, the prerequisite that SQL and Python is needed. So, but I don't have that knowledge. That's the reason I'm getting
So
into
that is the
confused.
reason. There are people here who does not know the SQL. There are few of my students who does not know the SQL and Python. But what I suggested them is like the only thing. Why my point of mentioning the concepts here is this one. You take a snap of this one. If you wanted to build your career in the data engineering, you take a snap of this page and look to go to the Google or YouTube or anywhere. There are plenty of resources for SQL and Python. Only focus on these concepts. I'm telling you, it wouldn't take 3 to 4 days. Okay, getting the basic knowledge on these concepts, it wouldn't. That's the reason I have mentioned here the concept. There is no point of mentioning the concepts if you guys already know it. So there are few people who does not know the SQL, who does not know the Python, but still they wanted to enter into the data engineering world. So that is why I have mentioned here the SQL concepts and Python concepts. You take a snap of it and keep it with you. And we will be going to the deeper concepts. It takes 1 week or 1.5 week when we enter into the deeper concepts, main concepts. Meanwhile, for this next 5, 6, 7 or 1 week plus 10 days, you will be able to focus on these concepts and get a knowledge on it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
MySQL or MS SQL will be
Both are
using
same.
all are same.
Both are same. No worries. Yeah.
Okay.
So someone is asking me, I'm planning to make a move in the data engineering. I'm having a 10 years of experience in the Oracle database. How it's helpful for me? I'm telling you, if you are coming from a Oracle database or if you are coming from a, you know, same background like MySQL or a support engineer or whatever the data, if you are working in a data world already, this course will be really helpful for you. You can get a good opportunities. First thing, a lot of hike you can able to expect, guys. A lot of hike you can able to expect. Okay. Okay, so you can expect a good opportunities. And you, if you wanted to be in a trending job, this role really help you. You worked on my Oracle DB. It is kind of a, very good job, but you wouldn't be able to get a high XR. You wouldn't be able to get a laptop opportunities if you wanted to try it out. But data engineering is a very trending job. After 10 years you wanted to again switch a job, it is again very trending. So it will be there for next 10 to 15 years. Data engineering in a very good position, guys. But this is one thing. And what is the course fee and who can help us to let us know? So for the course fee, guys, you can actually go for, okay, um, you can contact the IT team. Okay, so they will help you on this thing. Yeah, any questions anyone having? Some people, okay, sorry guys, there are plenty of questions in the chat. I would try to explain one by one. Okay, and so is this course specially catering the data engineering with GCP and generic cloud computing with Google Cloud? Both. Okay, that is both, guys. Any project included in this course? Of course, guys. Don't worry about the project. Real time when I started my working, and still I am working in the projects. So those projects are I have created as a data engineering project here. Even with the triggering and cloud functions also I have created how actually the cloud functions will be used in the projects, how a BigQuery will be used in the projects. So those are real time things. You need not to worry about it. How long this course is helpful for you? Sorry, might have missed as you just joined. And this course will be a 40 to 45 hours, close to 2 months, guys. You can think of this course takes close to 2 months. We will use SDK, guys. I sometimes tell you how to install the SDK and all of those things. Yeah. Did you cover cloud computing engine? Yes, cloud computing engine. What is a cloud computing engine? What is a Kubernetes engine? What is the app engine? Basic concepts related to that we will be covering, guys, but not more than that. Yes, because it is a data engineering course. While attending the interviews for the GCP data engineer, the expert certification in GCP data engineering. Certification is mandatory for attending the no, guys. Okay, no. It is not mandatory, but if you have a data engineering certification, this will be really helpful for you. Okay, that actually gives a lot of, if there are 100 points, out of that 10 points or 15 points will be added to you by with help of the data engineering certification. But that's not directly get you the job, land you a job, but the concepts that we are going to cover, if you are having a good knowledge on all of these concepts, this will be really helpful for you to get a job. Yes. So one more thing I want you to understand, whenever I was talking about one concept, let us just say, okay, let's just say data lake. When we are talking about a data lake or a BigQuery, so for a data lake, I'll try to give you some assignments, guys. Okay. And whenever talking about a BigQuery, I will try to give you 2 to 3 data sets for your assignment. Okay. You have to, what you can do is like you spare your time and focus on the answering those questions. Okay, so that you will be able to, when you try to complete those assignments, you will get a lot of knowledge and creating a lot of knowledge and using that particular solution. Okay, that is one more thing. And the data engineering is not all about the development, it is also about architecture, guys. So you have to focus on, it's not that I should use the BigQuery in a very good way, it's not like that. You should understand that how the BigQuery is, how we can use the BigQuery for a very efficient manner, and how BigQuery helps in a GCP, and how it is different from the other cloud tools and other on-prem tools like Hive as well as Redshift and Synapse. So you have to understand that concept as well. So our aim of the course is to get a development skills as well as the architecture points, because architecture also very important for us to understand. Every data engineer should go to the data architecture and machine learning solutions. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. Any other questions anyone having? Okay, so you can expect this thing from our course, guys, both actual development plus architecting. So these are the two things that we can expect. And I have mentioned here the all the course details on the chart, guys. You can also go through it. Okay. So time of the timings, I actually forgot to mention the timings, guys. The timings are same timings, guys. 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Okay, same timings every day. Okay, so these are the timings. Yes. Yeah. Any questions anyone having?
Yeah, Saidhul, I have one question. So I'm
Yeah.
expecting just I have to create one sample web application. Then how I want to deploy that application in the cloud. Is it possible to cover in this session? I mean, in this course content or not?
Actually, for the deploying the pipelines and deploying the things that we are going to discuss, but application, because we are not an application developers, so that thing is not covered.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
but creating a data pipelines, deploying those data pipelines, because that is where we are focusing on as a data engineer. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Someone is asking a batch time that I have mentioned here, guys. On premises to the cloud. Yes. Data migration on premises to the cloud that we are covering. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Anyone? From tomorrow onwards, we will be having a initial classes, guys. Today is a demo class, right? So that's the reason. Yesterday's we had a workshop. Today we are having a demo class, first demo. So in the first demo, I'm telling all the things that we are going to cover in our session. Tomorrow, I am going to start with the Google Cloud Storage. So before that, I want you to understand how to create a free tier account. Okay. So I would tell you tomorrow itself. Okay. It wouldn't take more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay. Tomorrow I will tell you how to create an account. And this is an course content and everything, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, if we have time, I will tell you how to create a free tier account today itself. Yeah. Okay, guys. So this is it for today. So hope I have given you a good understanding of what are the services that we are going to cover in our sessions, and hope you got some idea about a data engineering and a prerequisites, as well as what kind of a things that we have to focus on before entering into the data engineering, and what kind of learnings that we can expect out of this course. Okay. Okay. So there will be a comparison, guys. So someone is asking AWS to the GCP. Whenever I am covering one service in the GCP, I would also tell you what kind of a service that is the same available in the AWS as well as Azure as well. So you will be able to have some knowledge on topic names of each and everything. But the only thing you have to understand, one thing is like, if you learn one to cloud tool, that means you are learning all other cloud tools. The only thing is like you do not know the proper terminology. That's it. Okay, so if you are learning one tool, that means one cloud tool means you are learning other clouds as well. Okay, so don't think that if I learn what could be a thing, that if I go to the company, if they're asking me to work on AWS, it's the same thing. You need not worry about it. The technology is same. The only thing is like a platform is different. That's it. Okay, any GCP support job roles. So all these things, the development plus support plus big data developer plus admin plus, this course will be for all of the things, guys, because we are covering the IAM for the admins. We are covering the if you are wanted to go for a support, you need to know the services first. So you should know the development plus support. This course is for the development. If someone wanted to go for a data engineer, a developer, or a support developer, support engineer, or admin. So this course will be helpful for all of you guys. Yeah. Okay, guys. Any questions? Okay, guys. Thank you all. Okay. It's so it's almost 8:30. So I'll be here for next 2 minutes. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wind up the session. Tomorrow, with a very fresh mind, with a very positively, we are going to start our sessions with the Google Cloud Storage. So come up with a very fresh brain, sir, so that you will be able to learn and explore a lot of things in the GCP. This is not just a topic that we are going to explore. We are going to enhance, what I would say, we are going to acknowledge the development, how the Google Cloud platform has designed all of these tools, how these tools are going to helpful in our day-to-day activities. And one more thing is like, these technologies are very good, and we will be able to work with any kind of data. So from tomorrow onwards, we are going to learn a lot of new things. Okay, keep your brain open for learning all of these things. Come up with a very fresh brain, so that we will be able to see a very new and trending technologies. Okay, guys. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Will you be sharing today's recording?
Yes, you will get a mail for today's recording, guys. Don't worry on that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all. Have a great day. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you guys are doing good. So, yesterday we had discussed what is the course content and everything.
Recording in progress.
Right? From today onwards, we're going to discuss the very first topic, that is in a GCP, we have a GCP database landscape and big data landscape. So one by one, we are going to start with. So in a first half, I'm going to explain few concepts related to the databases, that is our Google Cloud Storage. And after that, we're going to start with at the second of our session, I will tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP, so that you'll be able to create a free tier account. After that, you'll be able to practice what are the sessions that we are having in. So let me start with the session today. So in the GCP database landscape, this is the agenda, guys. Okay. We are going to see explain all the GCP databases landscape and the differences between the RDBMS as well as NoSQL databases. And in this one, we're going to look at the Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner, and Bigtable. Okay. So these are the things. So first, we're gonna see data lake modernization in the GCP. If you wanted to have a data lake in the GCP, how we can have it? So which tool can be acting as a data lake in the GCP? Let us see one by one, right? So yes, we already know what is a data lake, guys. A data lake is a centralized repository to store the data. Okay, a centralized repository to store or retrieve the data as per the business requirement, right? So what kind of a data we can store, guys? You can see here. We can store structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data. We can store either if it is a batch data or streaming data. It should be able to withstand for SQL, ML, and searching. We can able to store on-prem data, cloud data, and data. So it is a scalable and secured platform to store the data, retrieve the data for further analysis or processing purpose. So this is what is a data lake, right? We have seen what is a data lake. Let me try to tell you what is a data lake from my notes. This is my notes, guys. Where is that? Okay, basics. Yeah. So this is what it is, a data lake. I hope you guys can see my screen clearly. Okay. So usually you get a data from a multiple data sources. So in a data lake, the data lake should be withstand to store any amount of data that is coming from a multiple data sources, and it should not restrict any data format. It should allow any data format to be stored, any amount of data to be stored, and it should be scalable platform and also secured platform. Okay, so that is what is a data lake. A data lake is a centralized repository to store or retrieve the data. And what kind of a data we can store, guys? Any kind of a data we can store here. Okay, and do we have any restriction on the number of files that we can store here? No, there is no restriction on the number of files that we can store in the data lake. Okay, and it is a scalable and secured platform, right? So this is what is the definition of a data lake. Now let us see data lakes using a GCS. In a Google Cloud platform, we have Google Cloud Storage is acting as a data lake. What is that? Let us see now. Okay, so this is Google Cloud Storage is as a data lake in the GCP. So what is a Google Cloud Storage, guys? So let me go to the paint and try to explain you guys one by one. So from today, from the very first topic that we are going to see is Google Cloud Storage. What is a Google Cloud Storage? Let us see first. Okay, so Google Cloud Storage is one of the fully managed services in the GCP. What is this one, sir? One of the fully managed services in the GCP. What do you mean by that, sir? What is mean by fully managed service? Sir, I want you to understand what is mean by fully managed. For very first thing, I will try to tell you. Sir, if you go to any cloud platform, okay, if you go to any cloud platform, the services in the cloud platform are categorized into two things. One is managed instance, okay, not managed, virtual machine. second one is managed instance, and third one is serverless. Okay, sir, VM based. People call it as a VM based. Okay, these are the three categories. If you go to any cloud platform, the services in the cloud platform are categorized into three. One is VM based services, one more is managed services or fully managed services, and third one is serverless. What do you mean by that, sir? In a VM based services, okay, for example, look at your laptop. In your laptop, if you wanted to work with any of the Python coding, or if you wanted to develop one application, what do, sir? You manually download one software like Python application, and you will provide some resources to that, and you will try to install that, and after that you go for the application development. What do, sir? Whatever the requirements, whatever the resources, whatever the infrastructure required for your entire application development, you as a person taking care of it, taking considering from the laptop itself. So you need a laptop. That laptop needs to have some kind of resources, and that laptop will have its own configuration. And on top of that, you will again download an application and install on top of your laptop, and again you try to develop an application. Likewise, in a VM based, an entire virtual machine will be given to you, so that an entire virtual machine will be given to you. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, I'm getting a call. 1 minute. Sorry, guys, I back now. So there are three categories in the cloud platforms. One is VM based, managed, and serverless. But before this one, if you wanted to understand, there is a one more category which is not a cloud platform. That is non-cloud platform. That is, we call it as an on-premises, right? So we have a one more thing is also there, that is on-premises. It is not a cloud. In on-premises, if you wanted to work with any of the application development, you have to manage your physical infrastructure. Okay. Physical infrastructure you have to manage. Again, if you need to have a separate environment, you have to manage your virtual machine. Manage the virtual machines. Manage the VM. And again, if you wanted to work with an application, you have to manage your application. Okay, because you have to download, install, all of those things. Again, you are the person need to develop the solution. Okay, so in a typical architecture, this is the things happening is in any company. If someone wanted to work with the any application development, first thing there will be a resources part. One is infrastructure. So as a person, we have to take care of the physical infrastructure. Again, if we have to have a development environment separated for each application, we need to go for a virtual machines. And again, we have to manage the application configuration. And finally, we can develop the solution on top of the service. So this is what it is. So in an on-premises, you as a person have to manage all of these things, guys. Okay, in a on-premises, we have to manage all of these things. Okay, but if you go to the cloud platform, what is the main advantage? Let us see one by one. Okay, very important thing, guys. No one will tell this point, but you have to understand, because somewhere you are seeing a VM based services, somewhere you are using a managed services, somewhere you are using a fully managed serverless platforms. So now you will be able to understand the concept of this one. Okay, in a VM based, you need not to manage the physical infrastructure, because that physical infrastructure will be provided to you in the form of a virtual machine to you. In the cloud platform, you need not to manage the physical infrastructure, but you have to manage your configuration for the virtual machine. You have to manage your application platform as well as development. Okay, in a VM based services are hosted, people also call it as a hosted, guys. VM based are hosted services. In this one, you need not to manage the infrastructure here, because infrastructure will be provided to you in the form of a virtual machine. And after that, managing the virtual machine, managing the application, and developing a solution is on you. Okay, but who will be taking care of the physical architecture? The cloud platform will be taking care of it. And if you go to the second category, that is managed services, the physical infrastructure will be taken care by the cloud platform, and managing the virtual machines also taken care by the virtual platform, and only the application and development will be taken care by you. Managing the application, managing the developing a solution will be based on you. Okay, you have to manage it, you have to take care of it. Okay, and if you go to the serverless platforms, the name itself it is saying, you need not to worry about a physical infrastructure, you need not to worry about a virtual machines, you need not to worry about a platform. Managing application, nothing but managing the platform, guys. Okay, you need not to worry about a platform, you can directly go for the development. Okay, this is what the cloud platforms are doing a best thing for us. Okay, because they are taking care of a lot of burden from us. If you go to the virtual machine based, an entire virtual machine will be provided to you. When they have given a virtual machine to you, all the configuration will be given to you, guys. If you need this much of, if you need 500 GB, 1 TB, 10 TB, 100 TB of storage, networking properties, as well as the RAM, if you need to have a lot of CPU, you can select it. Okay, so a highly robust virtual machine, you can select it. If you go to your laptop is a small machine which will be having only small configuration. But if you wanted to have a very heavy machine with a large properties, you can select it. Okay, that properties will be, that management of the virtual physical infrastructure will be taken care by the cloud platform. How, sir? We already seeing some data centers, right? Google have its Google data center, Amazon having its Amazon, and that's where they are managing the physical infrastructure. And managing the virtual machine, managing the application, and developing an application will be on you when you go to the VM based services. If you go to the managed services, physical infrastructure as well as managing the virtual machine will be taken care by them. Only the application and its development will be upon you. Okay, and if you go to the serverless, only the development part you are talking about, because we will see in our upcoming classes what is the fully managed, what is the serverless. So if you go to the VM managed, you can look at the compute engines. Okay, compute engines are there, Kubernetes engines are there, GCA, GKE. So these are all comes under VM based services, guys. If you look at the managed services, we are every day looking at managed or fully managed. You can see that. So managed services are like managed services, Dataproc, you can think of. Very good example, Dataproc, managed services. And for the serverless, BigQuery is the best example. Dataflow is a one more example. So you need to categorize the services in such a way that it will be very helpful for you to understand it. Because in a company, if a client asks you whether what kind of because we are looking for a serverless platform, you should be in a position to understand what is a serverless platform. If they are looking for a semi-serverless platform or a managed services, you should be in a position, because serverless platforms provide you a lot of benefit when you talk about a cost. Okay, when you talk about a managed services, the cost will be okay, and you have to manage some amount of things like managing the application. So there is some burden on you managing the application, so you have to take care. Your team has to take care about managing the application. But when you go to the serverless, your team need not to worry about application management, because you can directly go for the development. All other things like physical infrastructure, managing the virtual machine, managing the application will be taken care by the cloud platform itself. If I talk about a GCP, the same thing. Okay, we have a cloud platforms. When I say a cloud platform, we have a GCP is there, we have AWS is there, we have Azure is there. It is common for all of these things, sir. It is not only this concept is similar. This concept is same for all of it. Is a in general concept. Okay, now you got it. What is a VM based? What is a managed? What is a serverless? Now, if I go to Google Cloud Storage, it is managed or fully managed. Fully managed is also called as a serverless, sir. Sometimes. Okay. If you go to the Google Cloud Storage is a fully managed service. Okay, what is that, sir? It is a fully managed service. What does that mean? It is all the infrastructure required for the, okay, all the, you can also say it is actually a managed service or fully managed. Actually, I can't. This one. Okay, so a managed service. When I say a managed service, all the infrastructure, physical infrastructure, as well as the virtual machines will be taken care by the GCP. Okay, what are the rest, guys? You have to create your own application. Okay, when I say application, how the Google Cloud Tower, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, you have to understand. Then only you will be able to understand the what is meant by fully managed service. Because I know that Google Cloud Storage is operates with help of the bucket and files. You have to, when I say a fully managed service, all the physical infrastructure and virtual machine will be taken care by the GCP, and bucket configuration you have to provide. What is meant by that? You have to provide the bucket configuration. When you provide the bucket configuration, a bucket will be created for you. Okay, and after that you can upload files, you can go for the development. When I say development for the GCP is some creating a file or uploading a file, uploading a lot of files, creating many buckets, so like that. Okay, what is meant by fully managed? All the resources as well as infrastructure will be taken care by the GCP itself. So for that point, I have explained all the things, guys, because this terminology will come all the time. So that's the reason I have told, as I explained here. Now, now, sir, it is now I understand that it is a fully managed services. So the infrastructure will be taken care by the GCP. That is fine. So now tell me what kind of a service that the Google Cloud Storage is. What is the main intention of having a Google Cloud Storage in the GCP? So if you ask me, it is a service for storing and retrieving the data. Okay, sir, what kind of a service it is, sir? If you ask me, it is a service for storing and retrieving the data. Sir, what kind of a data I can store here? Sir, what format data I can store here? Sir, how many files I can store here? Okay, sir, how much amount of data I can store here? Okay, so Sir, it is a fully managed service. It is a service, I would say. It is instead of that. A service for storing and retrieving the data. So when I say talking about storing and retrieving the data, how much data I can store, any amount of data, any number of files, any format data, any kind of a data, we can able to store in the GCS, guys. Okay. So this is what is the main intention. What is the purpose of a Google Cloud Storage? If you ask me, it is a storage and retrieving tool. You can store any amount of data, any number of files, and if you wanted and need to have if you wanted to have the data to be retrieved at some point of time, you can also retrieve this data. Okay. So this is what it is. And one more thing. So how the Google Cloud Storage operates? Okay, sir, it is a fully managed, that is fine, and the purpose of the service is also fine, but how it operates? Okay, how it operates? Sir, it operates via bucket and files. Okay, it operates via bucket and files. Sir, some people does not know what is a bucket. I want you to understand this terminology now. Okay. Sir, what is a bucket? Sir, a bucket is a container. The terminology is this one, sir. Bucket is nothing but a container. Or some, if you does not know what is a container, also you can think of your folder. Okay, a container is not a bucket is nothing but a container, and terminology for the object is nothing but a file of any format. Okay, so this is what is the terminology, sir. Now you will understand. So in a Google Cloud Storage, we are storing something and we are retrieving the something. So how the Google Cloud Storage operates? Sir, in a Google Cloud Storage, it operates via bucket and objects. I should mention here objects, not files, because the terminology is a object. Okay, it operates via bucket and objects. Okay, what is a bucket? A container or a folder. What is an object? A file of any format. So what does that mean, sir? If it is operating via bucket and object, do I have to create a bucket to store the objects? Yes. So you have to create, we have to create to store the objects. Okay, we have to create a bucket. We have to create a bucket. So any number of buckets you can create it. Any number of files you can upload it to one bucket. So this is what is it. This is how the Google Cloud Storage operates, guys. Okay, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, sir? A Google Cloud Storage operates via bucket and objects. So in the terminology, what is a bucket, sir? A bucket is nothing but a container, and a object is a file of any format. And we have to create, if I wanted to store some data, what I have to do, sir? If I wanted to store some data inside a Google Cloud Storage, what I have to do? I have to go to the Google Cloud Storage and try to create a bucket, and inside that I can upload the objects. What do you mean by objects, sir? It is nothing but a data.